Hello, everybody. This is Anuj Tripathi, and you are watching the Review Universe. So, today we are having another podcast episode with a very special guest who is joining us, Manu Siddhartha. Manu Siddhartha is a spiritual seeker and an AI professional. He is very deep rooted with Indian mythology and also written a book called Shiv Puran Unlocked. So, hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Anuj, and thanks for giving me this opportunity to uh, talk in your podcast.
Okay. So, Manu, for our listeners who may be meeting you for the first time, would you like share something about yourself, like your journey, and more of like the audience should know about you, whatever you can.
Okay, so by profession, I'm an IT professional. As you told me that I'm in AI domain, and it almost a decade I'm working in this IT sector. Uh, my main inspiration towards writing a book was come recently because I was initially involved in work, mostly technical work, uh, coding projects, building softwares and all. But the main inclination towards writing specifically this book is that my transformation towards sadhana on Lord Shiva, and that is linked to my connection towards my Vasishtha Guha ashram, where I used to visit in my childhood days, and that's it. That is present in the Rishikesh, almost 20 kilometer above Rishikesh. It's present, so it's a very peaceful and serene atmosphere in the uh, ashram, and the Ganga is flowing in the
Hmm.
nearby. So there, that's the place where you get the sadhana meditation very easily, and a lot of people from different part of the world came there to do the sadhana and meditation. So that was the point I was actually inclined towards the sadhana. And lately, when once I was working and it gets some time to read Shiv Puran specifically, all the texts related to Lord Shiva, I got the understanding that we should definitely try to simplify it so that it will be easily understood by wider audiences, specifically modern youths
Yeah.
and who don't understand complex terms, specifically the spiritual terms. And that's also not came automatically, because once I have read it Shiv Puran first time, I was also not able to understand it because I read it in traditional Hindi language that is
Mhm.
present in the Gita press, and a lot of things I was also confused. So I referred many other articles regarding Shiv Puran, different references, and then I also visited certain saints, uh, Aghoris, saints, to understand the deep-rooted meanings in the Shiv Puran, which we actually take it as a learning in our daily life. So once I got the understanding, not fully, but we can say at least 1% about Lord Shiva through Shiv Puran, I just tried to make it in this Shiv Puran Unlocked.
Okay. So, like, I'm interested to know, like, what are the exact or something there are events which inspired you to write this book. So, can you tell us some?
Okay. So there are a lot of things. First, transformation which I say came into my life is I was leading a very normal life, very corporate normal life. I have also married my wife and son, so it was a normal life. But certain things happened which you can say not natural in my life. Then I mostly inclined towards meditation to get the remove those negative effects from my life. Once I start doing that, I was very much inclined to know more about Shiva and specifically get the sadhana out of it, to get the benefits out of it, right? And remove the negative effects. Uh, by listening to different podcasts, even in YouTube, about Lord Shiva, about Shiv Puran, I get the understanding that as to know Lord Shiva, we should definitely read Shiv Puran. Right? So once I start reading it, a lot of things happen automatically, and you can say it in the form of autocorrect mode by just reading it. And I was very punctual in reading it for almost 2.5 months by dedicating sometimes half an hour or 15 minutes daily. But once you read it, the beauty of Shiv Puran is once you read it, whether it's in any language, in any format, right? Once you start reading it, first time you'll not understand it, but some of the things which you read, it will come store in your subconscious mind, and it will make you, autocorrect mode. So a lot of things which you do daily, right? You start evaluating yourself in every aspect, like in ethical aspect, in truth aspect, right? In giving care to animal and giving care to your loved ones, to strangers even, right? So a lot of things, transformation will change you internally and externally. And once you finished it, you will be a completely different person. That is my personal experience. But the things which I really missed is that most of the things I missed it when I read it first time due to lack of understanding of spiritual terms, right? And what is the actual benefit of sadhana, how to get that. So there are a lot of terms which you get sometimes bored because you don't understand it. So those terms I try to understand in a very simple way from the saints and get it into the book so that people read it in a very simple, or you can say connected way. And at any point of time they should not feel like we should leave reading it, we are not liking it, not able to understand it, right? So this is, I think, one of the way which you can start reading in order to understand Lord Shiva. And then you can definitely read the traditional Shiv Puran. And also, if you are a devotee of Lord Shiva, you should read more text about Lord Shiva.
Okay. So, what are the transformation you can say like you have felt in yourself after and before reading the book?
Yeah. So one of the things, see, that depends person to person. I will tell you my experience that initially I was very fond of eating non-veg. That is very common, right? In nowadays means
Yeah.
it's very common, right? So I was also involved in drinking and eating non-veg. Sometimes I lost my temper in very small issues, right? Get irritated due to work pressure and all. So it was sometime it was very difficult to manage situation at home and at work also, right? Uh, but once I start reading it, it I will not say that you should stop eating these things and then read Shiv Puran, right? Because if you are already pure, what is the use of reading this, right? So it is something that Lord Shiva will accept you as it is, right? And once you try to understand it and learn more about Lord Shiva through Shiv Puran, it will uh, start cleaning your soul slowly and slowly. So at the middle of the book, I stopped eating all the non-veg items. I stopped drinking. Eventually, I am very much careful towards animals surrounding me, right? Like feeding dogs, feeding birds, which is somewhat very small thing if you say, but in our normal days we actually avoid it or we don't get time for it, right? But once you start reading it, it will make you connected towards nature surrounding you. That is very important, and we are actually uh, avoiding it nowadays, right? So you should spend some quality time with nature, right? You should sit near a flowing river. We should spend time with feeding such animals, right? You should also spend time with some saints to get the good learnings about the life, right? Because see, if you only read scriptures, you're not able to understand the core of it, right? So it's very important to not only read, these scriptures, but try to get the different meanings from different saints. If you have any connection, you should visit, specifically if you are a devotee of Lord Shiva, you should definitely visit Varanasi, right? That's the best
Yeah,
place you should visit, and try to connect with the yogis, the saints, get the learnings out of it. Then I think you'll start realizing that something is changing in you very slowly, right? So these are some of the examples of transmotion, and I guess a lot of other things happened in my home. You can say a lot of negativity was there that was eventually removed after reading it. Then I suggested some of my very close ones to start reading Shiv Puran. And in terms of, if you say if it's just a book, so it's not just a book, right? You should definitely pay respect while reading it. You should not read it in any posture. You should definitely give respect while reading it, and dedicate certain time while reading it. Now, the best part of it, which you said, it's not only transforming you, it also remove the all the negative effects. Now, if you or your audience believes in tantra, right? So
yeah,
it is also very common nowadays.
exactly.
Right. So some of your friend getting jealous of you, they can do a lot of things, tricks on you, black magic tricks on you, right? Now the thing is how you will protect yourself, right? And if I just go just deep into it, so tantra is something like if any kriya or any process they will do, they will attach certain entity on you, right? So the best part of Shiv Puran is once you start reading it, any soul surrounding you gets the freedom. That is the beauty of Shiv Puran. So let's say I'm just giving you a very real-time example which happened to one of my friend. So he has very a girl actually around 8 to 9 years in his family,
Okay,
and she was actually very much, you can say, possessed, or it's a very weird behavior she was showing for almost 3 4 years, and her mother was very much depressed due to this. She has given her different treatments in different hospitals, but nothing was changing. She was totally, you can say, showing unnatural behaviors. So that guy came to me and told me like these are the situation. If anything we can do, so I simply suggested just read Shiv Puran daily. Ask her mother to read Shiv Puran daily. Dedicate certain time, and while reading Shiv Puran, lit one diya, right, till the time you read it. She's and also bring her daughter in front of that, in front of where you are reading it, so that she will also listen it. Almost after 2.5 week, her daughter itself saying that when she was late in reading it, she was telling that why you are not reading it. Please, it's the time to read it. And almost after 1 month, she's absolutely normal, right? So the thing is, sometimes a lot of things will do a lot of things, different negative things on you. That will also getting purified, and whatever negativity is surrounding you, that is also become cleaned once you start reading it.
okay. So I have three different questions.
Yeah.
I can so as a follow-up questions, but I will go with the first ones. Like, what are your thoughts on like what you said, like drinks and meat? Even aghoris eat meat. So, what are the difference, and what we can say? What are the what are your thoughts in this? If I
Okay. So the thing is, very good question. So you can say aghoris eat meat and also drink, right? That is
Yeah,
true. So if you see for bhakti, there are three different paths, right? Rajas, tamas, and which is apart from that,
Rajas,
right?
tamas, and yeah,
Right, which involves no eating meat and very shuddh, you can say.
the tamas one, na?
No, Tamas is you are eating non-veg, getting
Yeah.
all the negative things, right, in your diet. Whereas Rajas is something which is middle of that, not exactly negative or not
Mhm.
exactly positive. That is middle, or you can say neutral, which usually kings take in their diets. Right?
Okay.
While usually saint uh, get the which are on a bhakti stage, or which are, you can say, usually Brahmins, right? Brahmins take that path. So now the thing is which path you will take, right? And every path leads you to towards your east, towards your God, right? So what path you will take? So the thing is, whichever path you are taking, you should follow that with sincerity, right? So if you are on tamas, so aghoris are something that what they believe is nothing is negative in this world. Everything belongs to Shiva. If it is meat, then it belongs to Shiva. It is a drink that belongs to Shiva. So everything what they consume, they belongs to Shiva. So if you live in that way, if you live in that way, then there is no problem, right? But it is very, very difficult to live in Aghori's way, right? Because they do very intense sadhanas, which normal, you can say, grahast person cannot do that. Normal household cannot do that, right? So that's why we suggest don't follow those paths, because we cannot maintain it, right? Second comes the path where we don't eat non-veg, don't take drinks and all, and lead a very simple life. Now, the science behind that, if you are living in a very simple way, simple diet, it will make your sadhana very much focused toward your God. Right. So once you do the sadhana meditation, these things will not hinder you if you don't eat non-veg and all. Right. So there are certain foods like people don't eat onion, garlic, right? Meat items, and specifically drink and all, because they will make you uh, sometimes addicted towards certain things, which leads you towards different direction, not towards God, right?
Okay.
So these are the things which you should follow. And uh, a very common myth which usually towards Lord Shiva is that Lord Shiva itself take drink, right? He
Yeah.
also
Exactly.
used to smoke, right?
That's the
But
that's the excuse I'm talking about. Like most people give these excuses while doing
yes,
these
yes.
things.
So once you read Shiv Puran, you will not find single line which mentions that Lord Shiva take these things, right? So these are the some of the things which people make it, right? Because of his appearance, because of his stories and all. But there is no mention, because Shiv Puran is the only text, right? Shiv Puran, Ling Puran, and there is another Skand Puran. There is another good text, Shiv Gita, where all the aspects of Lord Shiva try to explain by the authors, by the saints, and nowhere it is mentioned that Lord Shiva consumed these things, right? And in Shiv Puran, it is also mentioned that if you are reading Shiv Puran, if you are devotee of Lord Shiva, you should not take these items, right? Because it will hinder your path towards reaching Lord Shiva.
Okay. Okay. So like how do you meet like these saints and all? Like in Varanasi or somewhere else as well?
Yeah, so as I told you, since my childhood, I was visiting Vasisht Gufa Ashram, which is in Rishikesh. There we have one Guru Maharaj who used to give very good teachings about Lord Shiva, about Lord Ram, and he was the main person who was running that ashram. So a lot of learnings I had from my Guru Maharaj ji. After that, once I start reading Shiv Puran, I got the feeling to visit Varanasi. It's the best place to know about Lord Shiva, right? So I visit there. I used to meet certain saint who are sitting nearby the ghats, right? I have a casual conversation, then I have casual conversation with the ghoris and all. So because I like talking to such type of saints and agoris, because it's quite interesting if you ask a specific question and they will give you a explanation which you are never expected. That's the
Okay.
beauty of talking to such saints. So lot of things, lot of confusion I have regarding certain things in Shiv Puran. I asked it and cleared it from some saints, which helped me in specifically writing and explaining some certain facts about Lord Shiva.
Okay. Like you have mentioned like you have talked to agoris. So just like I'm talking about assumptions. Like people say like these agoris are dangerous and all. So what your thoughts on that?
See, that is also, you can say, the thing which is not visible. People will say a lot of things about that, right? So if you say Naga sadhus, so Naga sadhus are not visible to you in any part and any corner of the world, right?
Exactly.
They will only come once you have um, certain events, spiritual events, right? There they came, and apart from that, you will not find. Such is the case with Agoris, but Agoris usually you will see in certain Shamshan Ghats in Varanasi. That is very obvious. But in cities, they are also not visible, right? So I was also spending some time in one of the crematorium in Varanasi, and I was closely watching one of the uh, Agoris who was doing his sadhana. Once he was just completed his sadhana, I approached him very softly and asked certain questions. Initially, he denied. Initially, he was not in mood of answering, but then he start answering certain questions, and he take it in a very positive way. So by doing the conversations with Agoris, I got the understanding that you should spend time. You should not, but people have no patience, right?
Exactly.
People have no patience to give time to the saints, give time to the agoris. That is the bad part of it. And if you don't give time, and if you don't know somebody, you can make any stories out of it. Right? So I don't think they are also very, very respectable in my opinion, and their knowledge, their sadhana, their meditations are really supreme in my knowledge. They are the one of the greatest devotees, you can say, of Lord Shiva.
Exactly. Okay. So like what are the takeaways you would like to give from the book Shiv Puran Unlocked to the audience
Yeah.
or the reader who will read this?
So first thing is that in our life, if you see, there are a lot of difficulties we face, a lot of challenges we face in our life. Whatever uh, profession we are, if we are a student, we are struggling in our studies. If we are in certain professions, we are not getting the promotion, getting the proper results out of it, right? So, what I mean to say is that Shiv Puran is not any medium which will give you all the positive things. It is something in the way you can say, like, we bring our bad karmas with us in this birth, right?
Okay.
So, there are certain bad karmas due to which we born. If we don't have any bad karma, we didn't born, we get the moksha, right?
Got it.
That is as per our
Yeah, yeah.
scriptures and our Sanatana Dharma. So, whatever sufferings we are facing right now, that is only because of our collected bad karmas in the previous birth, right? Because you have also seen that many people are doing good things, but certain bad incidents keeps on happening with them, right? That is the reason of the previous bad karmas. It can only be cleansed by understanding or giving, you can say, puja, sadhana, doing meditation to Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva is the only deity in our Sanatan Dharma who can give moksha to you. That is one of the duty he has, right? And why he do that? Because he is very compassionate deity, right? He is not something that you should do puja in only that way, then only he will give you the results, right? That's not the case with him. He is actually an exception. So if you are sincere, if you are truly devoted by heart, he will give you whatever you want, and eventually he will give you moksha. Once you start reading Shiv Puran, you will get the actual love and understanding toward Lord Shiva, and it will also clean your karmas. It will also make you a better person. So the things which you usually do before reading Shiv Puran, I am 100% sure once you read Shiv Puran, you will be correcting yourself in that journey, right? And once you correcting yourself, eventually you will be cleaning your previous karmas.
Okay. So, like, if somebody is going to read this Shiv Puran after this, so what are the correct ways to do that? Like, when they should read it, or a specific time, or a specific posture, as you already said. So,
Yeah.
what should be that?
So see, if you that is also mentioned in Shiv Puran that there is no specific way of doing puja sadhana of Lord Shiva, but still there are certain ways which are recommended. But I'm not saying these are the only ways, right? So once you have a bath, morning bath, you can do your usual puja and sadhana, and then you can spend half an hour or 1 hour as per your comfort to read Shiv Puran. While reading Shiv Puran, you should definitely lit one diya, maybe ghee diya or maybe oil diya, and start reading it. Right? Also, you should offer certain flowers. You should give respect to Shiv Puran
Okay.
and then read it. Right. One thing is very important while reading Shiv Puran is you should have true devotion, or you can say if not true from the inception, then at least you should give respect to Lord Shiva while reading it. Sometimes I've seen that many people do critics while reading certain scriptures, right? They will say that this is not as per the science, this is not as per the thing. So I think these thinkings or thoughts will come in your mind as well, but keep it aside and make your devotion as priority and give it a read, right?
Got it.
So that's the only thing which I suggest.
Perfect. Okay. So, another question, like on the part where it is about, it is science versus devotion, we can say. So, what I would take on this, like, what should it be?
See, what I understand is science is way much behind what our Sanatan Dharm's technologies are, right?
Okay.
So once you start reading any scripture, not only Shiv Puran, like Ramayana, Gita and all, there are a lot of references, there are a lot of stories, references, which tells us that we are way, way behind what we currently are, right? So if you say the architecture of our temples, why it's in conical format, right? Because of those architecture only these rockets and these planes are actually architectured to make you transfer from one area to another, right?
Okay.
So that time if you see in any serial, in any scripture, if you read, people usually saints have that much sadhana and meditation that they can really talk to the specific deity while visiting their place. So how they are doing it, right? So if it's in Satyug, so saints are actually going to Brahma's place or Lord Vishnu's place and talking to them. So that was not a myth, that is real, and that is only because they have certain technologies they have
Got
which
it.
make that happen, right? To actually travel from one universe to another realm, right? So what I think is that we should definitely, if we are Hindus, then we should be very much devoted towards our east, our gods, and try to understand our Sanatan Dharma as simple as we can. Right? You should not treat it as a critic. You should try to decipher it, and that's why I make it this journey of understanding scripture as simple as we can, right? So that everyone understand about Lord Shiva, not in a mythological way, but in a very you can say usual understanding or casual understanding.
Got it. Okay, so this is going to be my last questions. So, a message from your side, whoever uh, maybe deciding whether they should read this book like Shiv Puran Unlocked or not. So, your message to them.
Okay. So my message to anyone who will be start reading it that once you start reading Shiv Puran, you should have like first thing you should make your devotion as a priority while reading it. Don't read it in a casual way. You can read it. There is no harm out of it. If you want to do a one casual read, that is not a problem. But eventually, what my message is that you should do a true devotion read. Once you do a true devotion read, then you'll actually get the benefits out of it, right?
Yes,
uh, because devotion is more powerful than anything else in this world, right?
exactly. Okay, so thank you so much for this podcast. And after this, whoever listening to this podcast, you can just find the book link in the description. So you can go and check out this book. And thank you so much, Manu Siddhartha, for this podcast.
Thank you, Anuj, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much.